Quinlan really dragging down some screamers. That one certainly one of the best he's taken. And Bernie Quinlan lining up for goal number 100. The fans didn't have to wait long. The crowd was just inside the boundary line. The kick on its way, and they came from everywhere. And certainly a great start for Fitzroy in their vital match down at the Junction Oval this afternoon. Bernie Quinlan bringing up the 100 goals for the second year in succession. It's a wonder he didn't finish the day with broken ribs. But for Quinlan, 327 games. His career goals now 676, 102 so far in this season after playing his first senior game in 1969. He was the winner of the Brownlow Medal in 1981, the club's leading goal kicker for the last 3 years, and the second best and fairest 79, 81, 82 and 83. Bernie Quinlan, 100 goals in season 1984. You're watching Sevens Big League. We'll take a break and we'll be back with the action from the game out at Victoria Park between Collingwood and Footscray in just a moment.
Coming up next on Sevens Big League, our TAB Footy Bets competition and the Victoria Park clash between Collingwood and the Dogs.
It's on. The great Nissan Bluebird $1,000 gift. It's big, and people are racing in as Nissan gives you $1,000 on every Bluebird sedan, $750 on every Bluebird wagon. As a gift, you'll save. So join the rush to Bluebird. Get up to $1,000 rebate and save as Nissan dealers put up their best ever Bluebird deals. It's a gift. The great Nissan Bluebird $1,000 gift. There's never been better time to...
Come alive, come and drive Nissan.
To better understand the extraordinary value of a TAA Take 7 holiday to the Queensland Islands, just close your eyes. Take 7 to the Queensland Islands. For details, talk to your travel agent or TAA, the friendly way.
This boy is known as Little Mess because messes seem to follow him everywhere. So, rather than drag out her heavy vacuum cleaner, his mother reaches for the cordless dustbuster from Black & Decker. It's light, powerful, recharges continuously, and it's perfect for small, fast cleanups on stairs, floors, anywhere. So if you've got a little mess around your house, get yourself a Black & Decker dustbuster. It's the right way to do it.
Cowley sends Bodie and Doyle on an important errand. One thing leads to another, and high-level conspiracy breaks right before their eyes. The Professionals, just before Bergerac, tonight at 8:30 on 7.
Time for our TAB Footy Bets competition now. We'll be showing you a time on your screen, if that corresponds with your TAB Footy Bet. This afternoon, or in fact this morning, or wherever you took it out, 10:28. The one we're looking for, 2682174. That's the telephone number to ring, and the first 2 viewers through will be successful in winning $250 with the compliments of NEC. Well, chasing a finals berth for the first time since 1976, Footscray this afternoon couldn't have wished for a harder task. The Bulldogs had to front up to Collingwood at Victoria Park, a ground at which they hadn't won since the 8th round of season 1972. In addition to that, their win at the Western Oval earlier this year was their first win over the Magpies on any ground since 1976. And that match, of course, being remembered for the famous Graham Allen kick. In this day and age, too, when totals and winning margins resemble cricket scores, the last 3 games between the two sides have been won or lost by 9 points or less. Could the Bulldogs make the 5? We pick up play now at the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. The Magpies leading by 11 points.
And in fact over the line on them. So again the Dogs, the opportunity to the half-forward line. Cloak playing in front of Edmund. Plays on now. Phillips, has he got the ace? Just gets his kick in time. Egan and Shaw battling. Back to the middle. Rains taps it over the top for Shaw. That was Gary. Pushed wide, however. And the chance for McLean. He goes short. Finding Brian Royal. Hasn't been as prolific a kick winner as we know him today, but he finds Beasley here. Tucked right on the boundary line. Plays on with a pass. Oh, here's danger because Wallace can go into the open goal. Steadies. Fires at goal and puts it through. So Wallace kicks his first goal and the Dogs come back.
It's a nice piece of play there. Good play by Beasley. The short kick. Seven's big league. Shows the replay of Royal putting the kick high. Beasley taking the chest mark. And he was very quick to see Wallace on his own. A short pass coming across the ground. There it is. Through the centre by Steve Wallace. So once again, 5 points to margin. Cloak and Purser. Neither ruckman have changed throughout this game so far. Bounce favours Cloak. Runs past Rains and Toomey. Turner's there for Collingwood. His kick into the centre, and it's taken by Neville Shaw. The hand pass wide to Rains. Rains gives it on to Mullane. Coming up towards half forward. Mullane's kick off the side of the boot, but it could be effective. Richardson took his eyes off the ball. Hand pass over the top from McMullen to Williams, and it's a goal!
Well played by young McMullen. He thought about having a go. Then saw his skipper in the square. 7-11 plays 5-12. 3 goals to Collingwood's Mark Williams.
On replay, he watches Jeff Rains. It's the hand pass to Mullane. The kick coming forward. Richardson all on his own. Ducked ahead. And we find McMullen put the hand pass over the top. And the goal to Williams.
7-11 plays 5-12. Collingwood leading by 11 points, but unable to break away to a handy lead. Still, the Dogs hang in. Rains could have tackled too high, but no, the umpire says play on. Pushed out wide towards McLean. He runs into trouble, dropped it. Toomey comes away with strength. Sweeps out a handball wide towards the wing. Foster is there, but hassled by Banks. And hassled illegally, said the umpire. So Peter Foster onto the left foot into the half-forward zone. No mark taken. McPherson got up high, fisted down towards Cloak. He's got backup support. McKeon gives it out towards Rains. He twists and turns and weaves his way out of bother, and then goes via the members' stand to try and go towards goal. Out of bounds, and a throw-in to take place at centre wing. 11 points the margin. Of course, we all remember the last time these two met. Let's see the last kick of the day. Brian Royal. Oh, can he keep it in? The wind is drifting it over, I'm afraid, on the...
Once again, good play by Ricky Barnes. He virtually
away.
Forced that kick out.
Taylor. To centre wing. A torpedo punt. Kellett. His name all over that one. Again, looking for Edwards. Finding him this time. Plays on to Royal. The Dogs wanting a goal. And Brian, you haven't got your kicking boot on today. Because again, he pulls it this time with the left foot out of bounds in the right forward pocket.
He really did swing that one. He had the lead coming from Sewell. Tried to find him, but swung it too wide. Over the back it comes. Neville Shaw does well. Lovely pass from Neville Shaw. Finds Rains. And Rains right in the centre of the ground. Should go long and direct. Brings it wide. Richardson there. A well-placed kick. Richardson plays on. Swings it back towards the goal. A well-placed kick from Richardson and a good mark. Showed a lot of strength. Collingwood skipper Mark Williams. A well-placed kick as we watch the replay. Lovely kick from Richardson and a good mark by Williams. 3 goals so far to Mark Williams. Dangerous forward. Hit the post. So it's 3 goals too to Mark Williams, and it's Collingwood 7-12, Footscray 5-12. So exactly 2 goals the margin. Short pass from full-back Egan, the player to take the mark. Still in the back pocket. Now the kick for Egan. Well, when you find they kick straight to the opposition, then the first kick was a waste, wasn't it?
Yeah, total.
Rains, after taking it from Cloak, puts a long kick down the ground. And after that, well, the mark to Morwood.
Look at him, stolen. Look at this.
We'll watch again on replay.
Either that or he's got elastic hands.
I think he did steal it, but it's a mark nonetheless. He's directly in front, 30 metres out.
Good on him. Let's see what he does. The drop punt. Oh, he's swung it, but no, he's got it through. And now the Woods have opened up their biggest margin today. 8-12 plays 5-12 on 7's big lead.
Yes, and we watch on replay as Egan's kick goes straight to Cloak. The hand pass from both across the reins, and the value of a long kick. Jeff Rains, a beautiful kick. Morwood coming from behind.
He might have just about got that.
Well, he finished with it anyway.
Whether he started with it, we'll never know. Here's the bounce once again. Now, what can the Dogs do? Cloak beaten for it on that occasion. They'll certainly run out their determination, but they've got to get the score on the board. McLean receives from Purser down to the half-forward line once again. Pushed towards the line, and can Bamlett keep it in? He does so too. Pushes it back towards the forward pocket zone, only to see a strong mark taken by Greg Phillips. Greg's another one that always likes to see the handball moving, but no, he goes for the kick this time because Gary Shaw is loose just on the defensive side of centre wing.
No, 15 metres because he was going to play on, does so now. Gary Shaw towards centre half forward. Oh, good mark by Rains.
Just about kicking from there. Right down to the square goes got Morwood and Williams, Bobby.
Lovely kick from Rains, right to the square. No mark taken. Kennedy forces the ball through. 1 point to Collingwood. And so it's 3 goals won. The margin 8-13 to 5-12.
Kennedy again to bring it back into play. The Dogs must do something. Season 84 is just about leaving them behind if they're not careful. Brian Wall at the back of the pack goes back towards the centre wing area. Jimmy Edmund got a nice old shove, and he'll take the free kick. David Toomey impressed. So Edmund from the wing to put Footscray into attack. Oh, Beasley's come out a mile. And Edmund's kicked slightly off course. Sewell could have given away the free kick. And it will be Taylor again to receive. Oh, out come the runners. Beasley's in trouble. Behind play, Beasley is in awful strife. There are runners everywhere and medicodes as Hawkins goes down towards Sewell in the pocket. Beasley's not moving on the ground at the moment. There he is. Will stay with the action until they pull it up. Still the opportunity for McPherson. Onto the left foot he goes. A long kick in towards full forward. And a good mark taken, I think, by Edwards. So Butch Edwards, and while all this is unfolding, we'll see the mark again in replay. He's kicked 1 goal to date. But being carried from the ground is Simon Beasley. Well, should Footscray go on and record a win here, it's going to be even worse news than they finish the season today. Most unfortunate.
Another kick, I think, Sandy.
Yep.
It'll be a 15-metre penalty. Right over the line he'll go.
Play by Collingwood, but I haven't been watching it. I've been watching Beasley leave. And poor old Robert Groenewagen limping onto the ground with a bandaged left foot, left knee. So they've just about hit the bottom of the barrel. As far as replacements are concerned, they can't dig too deep. Only got 2 on the bench.
Talking of tough jobs, there was this big 20-foot greenhouse, the new Mitsubishi high roof, and just me and Joe. But my Mitsubishi high roof made it a cinch.
You call that tough? I had to hurry 18 models across town to a fashion show. Luckily, my Mitsubishi low roof turns on a 10-cent piece, handles really well. All right, girls, showtime.
The new Mitsubishi Express vans. A tough act to follow.
It's another Mitsubishi.
Geez, the car feels funny. Did you put those wheel nuts on properly?
You may not think your car's worth insuring,
The wheel nuts!
but you're still liable for all the damage it causes. This delivery van driver will sue for a lot of bread.
Hey, look at this!
And after their brush with death, the painters will settle out of court. The truck driver, well, he puts a court case in the pipeline. And the local cycling club gear up for a legal battle. The hardware shop, $8,200 damage. Yet the $80 property liability policy from AAMI pays for the property damage the car caused. It's quite a promise.
So call Amy. We keep our promises.
The wheel
An eccentric old man is involved in a series of accidents, but all is not quite what it seems. Bergerac has a case of murder with an obvious motive. Could it be too obvious? Bergerac, following The Professional, Saturday at 9:30.
14 points the difference, and we pick up play in the third quarter at the 21-minute mark.
Boston and Banks doing all the leading. McLean waits behind. Gets shoveled of it, then tunnel balls it out the back door. Richardson just paddles along in front, twists and turns his way out of trouble, gets it onto the left foot, up towards the half-forward line. Gary Shaw waits down. Here's the chance now as the speedster fires towards goal. Great kick on the run, he's put it through. Gary Shaw opens up the margin. 9-14 playing 6-12 on 7th big lead.
It's a nice goal by Gary Shaw, and we watch on replay. Mike Richardson, right, left, and the talent of Richardson showing out as he puts the ball forward. Gary Shaw straightening up, and a lovely goal from Gary Shaw.
Special comments from triple Brownlow medalist Bob Skelton.
Cloak and Purser. Purser gets the tap down, taken by Edmund. Almost a one-hander by Phillips. Recovers well. The hand pass towards Barr, and he was under a lot of pressure. Barr lost it, but able to tap it out. Again, Collingwood loses. Bamblett picks the ball up, puts it wide to Hawkins. Hawkins from the half-forward flank, hooks it back. Edwards can't take the mark. Tap down, McPherson coming through. Pat forming. Edwards is there, so too Taylor of Collingwood. And Glenn James saying, give it to me. I'll bounce it about 30 metres out from the Footscray goal.
22.5 minutes gone, Bob. Third term.
Big pack of players around this bounce. Cloak grabs it. The hand pass wide. Tony Shaw racing after it. Can he get there before the boundary? No. And so a throwing to take place midway between forward pocket and half-forward flank for Footscray. Groenewegen in the front position. Cloak using his body well. Groenewegen gets the tap down. It's picked up by Duperuzal. His kick up towards Edwards. Punched away by McCormack. Toomey coming on the scene. Punched it forward. He runs over the boundary line, so they're throwing this time in the forward pocket. 68-48. 20 points to margin. 23.5 minutes almost as it's grabbed by McPherson. He's tackled. Too high, says umpire Glenn James. The tackle, he did grab him over the shoulder as Sandy Roberts called. And McPherson with the opportunity of kicking his second goal and making the margin 14 points. Quite an acute angle though, Sandy. They're not easy to kick from there because at this stage there's quite a bit of pressure. Steve McPherson. Plays on now. Hooks it towards goal. And it's a nice goal to Steve McPherson, his second.
Announcing the new Holden Astra.
Giving up CD bars and burn wheels at lights. I'm glad I'm civilized now. I'm glad I'm civilized now. Giving up platform shoes and Marxist Leninist blues. I'm glad I'm civilized now.
I think I'll enjoy more Australian views.
I'm glad I'm civilized now.
New Holden Astra, the civilized hatch.
Got one of everything. Go for it.
Do you know what I'd really like?
Beyond the chore of painting, there's a little help for you. Little Beaver from CIG, the complete spray painting system. Speeds across fences, makes light work of all kinds of different surfaces. Great for interior use, walls, ceilings, doors. Little Beaver sprays all kinds of paints. A professional finish every time. For more than a little help, Little Beaver from CIG. Available at these stores and selected hardware outlets.
It takes all kinds of people to do the job right. It takes all kinds of people from morning till night. And with hard work and dedication, you know you just can't lose. And we've got the people, we've got the news. And with hard work and dedication, you know you just can't lose. And we've got the people, we've got the news.
On in this third term, and it's all set up for the final quarter once again. And could it be the last quarter of football for Footscray this year? Who knows? Here's the centre bounce with Royal scooting out. They only want another one this term. They're back in business. Up towards Edwards, can't take it. Bamblett was waiting down. Oh, McCormack tried to go through strongly, went without it. Taylor tried to punch it out. Here's danger because Edwards receives from Wagon. Steadies onto the left foot, but he's hooked it and pulled it out of bounds on the full. Duperuzal is off. They're making a couple of changes. Well, Beasley wasn't badly hurt. He's back on again. Anderson is off the ground with Duper, and McKenna and Beasley are on.
Beasley must have just been shaken up, Sandy, I think.
It's good that he's quite okay.
So it's Turner of Collingwood. Kick off the side of the boot. Rains in the front position. Couldn't quite take the mark. Mullane's held. We're not in possession of the ball.
Free kick push, said the umpire.
And he'll take it. Plays on immediately. Tony Shaw's there. Shaw and Hawkins. Neither player could take the mark. Lending support is Toomey. Toomey's kick off the side of the boot. Out towards centre wing. Foster leads in the race, but leading support this time is Footscray's Hawkins. His kick wobbles forward. Tapped on that time by Callett, but he runs over the boundary line. So a throw in midway between centre wing and half forward flank for Footscray, outer side of the ground. Almost 26 minutes have gone in the third term, and it's 14 points to margin in favour of Collingwood. Phillips high over the top, but he's hit it the wrong way. Toomey grabs it, taps it out, picked up by Turner. Turner's kick drops short, and Rains takes the mark. Breaks the tackle. Puts a nice kick over half forward. Morwood's there, couldn't take the mark. From behind, couldn't do so. Egan gets the hand pass to Callett. Callett now puts a long kick out wide. Cloak in position, couldn't quite take the mark. Neville Shaw coming through, but Cloak was being held, and he will take the free kick. Really come into it in this third term, Sandy.
Yes, certainly lifted himself. Gets it across to Turner. He tumbles a punt up towards Banks. Can't get there in time. Tackle too high. Yes, says Glenn James. And so the free kick will go the way of Footscray's Darren Baxter. To centre wing. McPherson tried to use the body. Sockers it forward. Now the opportunity for Sewell. Royal. Out comes Beasley. 1, 2, and he's got it. Well, he hasn't goaled to date. I'm afraid the cupboard has been bare for Simon thus far, but well, this is the one he wants to try and break that 14-point leeway that Collingwood have held for the bulk of this term. They shot away to 20 points on a couple of occasions, but Footscray have picked them back. Can't get under this. Now what can he do? Oh, it's a good-looking kick. It's a goal. Back come the Dogs. 8 points the difference on Seven's big lead.
It's a nice goal. If we watch on replay. Sewell now in defence. Taken by Royal. Plays on. A well-placed kick from Royal. Sees the lead from Beasley.
.9:14 plays 8:12, 8 points the margin. Well into time on, almost by 3 minutes. Neville Shaw's handball goes astray. Now the opportunity for McKenna. No, Neville Nash has pulled it up and said holding the ball. And so it will go back to Neville Shaw. Gets his kick up towards the half-forward line. Time running out for Collingwood. They want a steadier, and Jim Sewell takes a good mark in front of forward. He's certainly done his bit. His kick back towards the half. Barham sets himself on that half-back line. Now he'll fire in towards the forwards again. When James says, go on, get your kick and play on, he does so. Williams will be the flyer. Can't complete the mark. Who's waiting down? No one able to take it away as Williams scoots out. Neville Nash says, gentlemen, let's have a bounce. And there was 10 or 12 of them in a pack there. So here's the bounce. 25 metres out from the Collingwood scoring zone. Won by Purser, but tapped to Tony Shaw. Down towards Morwood. Who's he got running for him? Richardson. Tap it again, they say, but he can't do so. And eventually it is taken through for 1 by.
Foster was the player who made sure that went through, and it's 9 points the margin in favour of Collingwood as Sewell puts it wide. Gary Shaw in the front position. Good mark for Gary Shaw. The value of being in front Hawkins saying, I brought the ball down, but Gary Shaw stood his ground well. Goes to the short pass and finds Banks, who almost lost his head. It didn't quite connect.
She'll be on in the last quarter, Bobby. It'll be like a grand final in the last quarter, don't worry, with Footscray having to come from behind. Whether they're good enough, we'll have to wait and see. We're in the fast approaching the 30th minute of this quarter. There's the kick from Banks, long in towards full forward, and I think he's got it. He has. So again, they open up that 14 or 15-point break. 15 points, in fact. 8-12 to 10-15 on Seven's big lead.
On replay, you see the value of being in front. Doug Hawkins saying that I touched it first, but Gary Shaw was in the front position. And the rest is history. It's one goal. There's a nice little pass to Banks, and let's finish it off with a goal from the centre bounce. 15 points to the margin. Wallace takes possession. Not a long kick from Wallace, straight to the opposition, and Taylor will bring it wide out towards centre wing. Banks coming across, punched away by Foster, taken by McLean. The hand pass out to Royal. Royal now, kick dropping short again. Bamblett taps it away. Bamblett's still there, does well, a good turn of speed, a nice hand pass to Edmund. Chance of a score coming up as goalward goes Jimmy Edmund. It's a lovely goal.
Back come the Dogs with a quick reply, and still they hang on in there. A 9-point break now to Collingwood.
Some people's idea of National in the kitchen stops at microwaves. Oh, thank you. I mean, I wouldn't be without my genius. But what about National's new food processor? It does more than anyone. And National blenders, mixers, juicers, rice cookers, toasters, dishwashers, even vacuum cleaners. Other people just make appliances. National puts friends in your kitchen. My kitchen wouldn't be complete without National.
From National. In tomorrow's Sunday Press, Gary Hughes reports from London on Britain's rowdiest film star, Oliver Reed. The veteran hellraiser has just completed 6 months off the booze for a bet. But when the actor decided to celebrate his success, it was vintage Reed. Sunday Press also talks to Bert Newton about the worst crisis of his showbiz career. Plus, tennis ace John Newcombe reports exclusively on the US Open title in New York. Cricket, motor racing, horse racing and football. You'll find Sunday Press packed with all these sports and more. Don't miss Sunday Press, Sunday's best paper, out tomorrow.
You may think all mueslis are equally nutritious, but they're not. That's why I give my family Purina toasted muesli. I won't take chances with plain labels. Would you?
Oh, this would have to be one of the most one-sided finals for a long time. Toyota Corona is goals ahead from just $39.90 per week, including on-road costs. An offer that leaves the opposition flat-footed. Full points to Corona, the success car of 1984, from only $39.90 per week, including on-road costs. What a deal, what a winner. But hurry, offer ends with the final siren, September 29th.
All three of these animals were introduced to the Australian outback at about the same time. Each adapted very easily, and certainly all were used to profit man. Yet now, none have any real enemies but man.
Hoofs, humps and feathers, 7:30 Monday on 7.
In the final quarter, we're at the 9-minute mark, and it's Collingwood leading by 9 points.
At the end of which Footscray are kicking as if it's 10-7 at the other end. Banks puts it up. Andrews got it. Listen to the crowd on replay. Seven's big league shows a great mark to Ron Andrews.
Careful, Ronnie. Those hamstrings. He's stretching. I think he might have done something. But listen to the crowd. They love him. Oh, he's a great man. The drop punt. On its way. Ronnie, you'll go. You'll be a hero at Collingwood if they win. And look at the boys go up to him. Mark Williams.
And we move the clock forward now to the 15.5-minute mark, same term.
Over centre wing, Cloak is the target. Didn't try and mark it, tried to tap it forward. Waiting down his reins, he goes steaming in towards full forward. Ronnie! Ho-ho!
Richardson calling for it in the square. But I agree with what Andrew is doing. He should just steady and straighten up and kick it direct. Now again, as Mark Williams saying, just kick it over my head.
Let's see what he does. One of the favourite sons of Collingwood, even though he's only been here a short time. He's gold, and one could almost say good night, Footscray, for season 84. But football is a funny game.
Yes, well, Footscray, right throughout this game, Sandy, have looked as though they're going to be run over by Collingwood as Rains on replay. Sevens big lead, and it's Ronnie Andrews. Bad defence that time from Alan Edwards. Gave Andrews far too much start, and it's 2 goals in this term to Ronnie Andrews coming on in place of Shane Morwood. 20 points the margin. Centre bounce. Richardson coming through. A nice hand pass. Missed that time by Phillips. Picked up by Toomey. Toomey's kick towards half forward. Touched off the boot, so it's play on. Andrews once again. Traps it. Gives a hand pass wide. Mullane's the player. Mullane, can he score from here? He hooks it back. It looks a great goal! Darren Mullane, a beautiful goal!
And Ronnie Andrews figuring in the last 3. Using his strength. Getting the handball out. And look at the Collingwood players. And there's one of the great goals from this game, kicked by Darren Mullane. Here it is with Andrews again. Look at the handball, Bob.
Long hand pass. Mullane snaps truly. Lovely goal from Darren Mullane. And so 26 points to margin. That's the greatest margin held by either side at any stage through this game.
It's certainly the wrong stage of the game. But Footscray would like to see that lead stretched. What can they do? From the centre bounce, Cloak went taken by Tony Shaw to the half-forward line. Tap back towards the middle. Turner can't pick it up for Collingwood cleanly. And so another bounce. Well, they've tried valiantly, the Dogs. But I think it could be over for them. It's asking a lot to make up this leeway now and, in fact, hit the front. But it's been done. Royals kick. Out wide towards the flank, and over the line it goes for another throw-in with Ron McKeon just seeing it over the line. Footscray players not moving with that same sense of urgency as they were 5 or 6 minutes ago, because one Ronnie Andrews has put a decent old dent in their aspirations for the finals. Just picking it up and keeping it in play for Collingwood was McMullen, down towards the half-forward line once again. Mullane the opportunity, the running Richardson receives. This could be another one. Out in front of Banks if it sits, he's in business, but it won't. He tries to paddle it forward, he's into the pocket and eventually takes it over the line for another throw.
So Dennis Banks looks a little sore in the hamstring there, but I'm usually quite... just didn't sprint after that ball as... though he was really 100% fit. Andrews gets the ball down. It's taken this time by Banks. Snaps towards goal. Mullane coming in to take the mark. And Mullane, who kicked the goal just a moment ago, is only 5 metres out directly in front. So Darren Mullane shifted to the half-forward line. Could have 2 goals in a matter of minutes. And on replay, we see Banks put the ball forward and Mullane take the mark. So it will be a 32-point margin, and which surely, Sandy, with 20 minutes about to tick around, spells doom for Footscray as Collingwood go to 32 points with a goal by Darren Mullane, his second.
Just on the 20-minute mark, it's all over for Footscray. 14-17 to 9-15. And here it is again in replay, the last look of season 84 for Footscray fans, as Banks puts it high in the air, and as Bobby called it, Mullane, eyes on the ball, marking in the square in front of Mike Egan. He converts, and Collingwood go on. Footscray say farewell.
Looks like being 14 consecutive losses here for Footscray, Sandy.
This hasn't been a happy hunting ground.
So from the centre bounce, it'll be Purser and Cloak. Cloak grabs it out of the centre. The hand pass runs towards Tony Shaw, who taps it on to Rains. Good play. Rains now puts the long kick up towards the square. Andrews and Williams both up. Neither can take the mark. It's picked up by Anderson of Footscray. He swings it wide out towards Hawkins on the centre wing, or half-back flank actually, and Hawkins out wide takes the mark. Doug Hawkins Cross the ground with a short pass to McKenna. McKenna, the hand pass over the top, finds Foster. Foster with a beautiful kick, high and long. Beasley from behind, taps it on. Duperuzal couldn't grab it. Beasley does now. The hand pass towards Wallace. Wallace snaps towards goal. He's offline though, and only 1 point the result. So 1 point to Steve Wallace. And the Footscray have only added 3 points in this quarter, whilst Collingwood have kicked 4 goals too. McKeon puts the ball back into play. McMullen up, couldn't quite take the mark. Phillips takes it. The hand pass across to Jamie Turner. He couldn't take it. It's kicked off the ground by McPherson. Dummies well. Straightens up and hooks it down towards the goal square. Beasley in position, couldn't take the mark at the back. And Toomey just allows it to run through for 1 point. So 1 more point to Footscray, and they're 9-17 to 14-17. 5 goals the margin. David Toomey. The lead from David Cloak. Cloak takes the mark. Cloak content to take his time, give the hand pass, a shocking hand pass, but Toomey gets a favourable bounce, comes across, he looks for Phillips this time. Groenewagen puts it down. Tony Shaw gets the short one out there to Phillips. Phillips puts the ball wide. Richardson's there. Taps it, should tap it on, does so well. Good play, Richardson, as it's taken now by Gary Shaw. Shaw towards goal. Gary Shaw, no mistake. Gary Shaw kicks his second, and it's a 36-point lead. 15-17 to 9-17.
Sevens Big League is part of the 1984 Nissan VFL Premiership season.
Less than a kick in it at half-time, 8 points at three-quarter time, but Collingwood going right on with the job in the final term to win by 43 points and consolidate their place in the 5. Goal kickers for Collingwood, Gary Shaw and Williams got 3 each, and for Footscray, their main goal kicker was Edwards, and he also finished up with 3. Insofar as the stats were concerned, Collingwood on top in all departments, except the hit-outs at Victoria Park this afternoon. Time for our 2 winners now in our TAB footy bet competition. Our phone competition came out like this. Mr. R. Smith of Trafalgar and Mr. W. Barfoot of Port Melbourne were the first 2 viewers on the phone, and they win $250 with the compliments of NEC. Now, coming up, we have 8 phone account numbers. If yours is amongst that lot, as I said, 8 of them there. The first on the telephone, or in fact second, the first 2 viewers through, also richer by $250 with the compliments of NEC, and all correct entries, all prize winners, going into the barrel for our end-of-season prize draw. John Dix checks on the main prize.
It's the GL manual Pulsar hatchback from Nissan, powered by a sporty 1.5-litre engine with 5-speed manual overdrive. The Pulsar GL hatch offers a standard of motoring unparalleled in any other small car, and $10,000 worth of magnificent NEC products, including television, audio, video and microwave ovens, in the end-of-year footy bet competition. NEC, your future in home entertainment.
And you're watching Sevens Big League for round 22, the final round of home and away matches. We'll be back with more action in just a moment.
Sandy Roberts looks at the final round of seasons past, and Peter Landy looks at today's VFL Park clash next on Sevens Big League.
Westpac announces the world's first national electronic banking system. A vast network of electronic terminals and bank branches that gives you the choice to do your banking where and when you want to. A system that is soon to be installed into over 1,000 service stations and supermarkets. All you need is just one card. The card is the bank, and the bank is Westpac.
If the strain of buying a car has got you all at sea, come and see us at Bayside. We won't leave you to sink or swim.
You always do better at Bayside.
Bayside Holden, Frankston. What's the most versatile way to enjoy all the foods we love today?
Versatile salada, island salada, man size, crisp, light and snack size, easy to nibble, bite size, island salada, most versatile.
Only Arnott Salada cracker biscuits are this versatile.
Man size, snack size, bite size, versatile salada.
For all the foods we love today.
Robert Mitchum running a high-powered advertising agency. Lee Majors and Valerie Perrine. They stumbled onto an enormous conspiracy, larger than they could possibly have imagined. Agency, The Sunday movie premiere at 8:30 on 7.
Still to come on 7's Big League, on this round, Hawthorn's battle with Geelong, Scott Palmer's reports, Carlton's clash with the determined Swans, and we talk to Bernie Quinlan and Fitzroy's coach Robbie Walls. 7's Big League, for the best in footy action.
In round 22, 1984, Bernie Quinlan brought up his 100th goal for the second year in succession. Let's turn the clock back now, and we go up to Sandy Roberts to find out what happened in seasons past, round 22.
Thank you, Peter. Round 22, the last of the home and away games, and let's start off with good news for Carlton fans. We go back some 14 years, 1970, and the 100 came up for Jezza. Alex Jesselenko became the first Carlton player to reach that magical mark, and for the first time in league history, 3 full forwards, McKenna, Hudson and Jesselenko, all topped the 100. McKenna had kicked 9 that day against South, but Swans fans didn't care. They were in the finals for the first time since 1945. McKenna was in phenomenal touch in 1972. In 5 games, he kicked 43 goals, including 8 this day against Essendon. Not even his brilliance, though, was enough as the Magpies went down by 5 points and the Bombers clinched 5th spot. While it was celebrations for the Bombers, it was curtains for the Hawks, who relinquished 5th position after being beaten by St Kilda. The hero for the Saints was Barry Lawrence, who kicked 6. The drama of the final round of 77, however, was South's win over North, thanks to the brilliance of Teasdale and Jackson, and Footscray's win over Carlton. South in and Carlton out of the finals. In 1978, St Kilda defeated Carlton in a very tough encounter at Moorabbin. The villain was Robbie Muir. He copped 2 weeks for flattening Dennis Collins and tangled with the crowd as he left the field. Carl Ditterich bowed out of football in a stormy fashion in 1980. The man who had visited the tribunal so frequently was reported for striking Kevin Morris of Collingwood. His 18th appearance was not eventful, and no penalty was added to his tally of 30 weeks suspension of 285 games. Melbourne's Gerard Healy clinched the club's goal-kicking award in the last round of 1982, kicking 8 against the Swans and taking his tally to 77. On the same day, Collingwood's Craig Stewart and Richard Murray tangled. 3 weeks apiece was the verdict. Ian Nankervis retired last year, as did Kevin Bartlett, who gave it away after a record 403 games. A record, some say, will never fall. Well, that's just something we'll have to wait and see. Now back to today's final home and away action. Here's Peter.
Thank you, Sandy. That record is certainly going to take a bit of beating, isn't it, from Kevin Bartlett? Well, the finals came a week early for Hawthorn and Geelong this afternoon as they lined up at VFL Park for the final preliminary showdown before the main event. The game was a vital one, especially for the Cats, as they had to win to make certain of their place in the 5. From a Hawthorn angle, prestige was the main ingredient at stake, although the Glenferrie boys still had a chance, albeit a very rough one, of stealing top spot if the Bombers crashed against North Melbourne. The Cats, although losing key players, Malarkey, Yates and Byrne through injury, were confident they could topple the reigning premiers as they'd beaten them last year at Princes Park and earlier this season at Cardinia Park. Tonight, our replay begins at the start of the game at league headquarters, and with me in the commentary box is Lou Richards.
35,000 mark. The Cats must win. Hawthorn must win if they're to have any chance of getting top spot. Byrne and Mossop, won by Mossop, gets it on to Bolton, picked up by O'Keefe for Geelong. His kick back towards centre wing. Lester Smith getting underneath the ball bounding towards him. He picks it up right on the VFL emblem. A good long kick. And the mark taken out there by Curran at right half forward flank for Hawthorn. Curran decides to play on. He's gone for a pass and he finds Langford unattended. A little bit closer to goal, but still basically at right half forward flank. Langford named on the wing, and the side furnished to us by Tony Perugia, the Hawthorn manager, and I must compliment the Hawks for that too.
Certainly, Pete.
Michael Tuck named in the centre. Langford, long shot at goal. It's going pretty close. I think it's there. Oh, great shot. First blood to the Hawks at VFL Park.
Well, Hawthorn 1 goal, 6 points, and of course that goal coming before the 3-minute mark. A great goal by Langford. Got him up to a great start.
There was a fun kick. Let's look at it again. He's a long way from goal. That's a good 55-metre kick for mine.
Certainly is.
You see Big Mossop just failing to get a hand to it, to touch it on the way through. Great start by Hawthorn. 1.5 minutes gone, first quarter. Mossop and Byrne, the ruckman for their respective sides. Umpire Kevin Smith again putting the ball down. Mossop loses that one to Byrne. Picked up by Mossop, tried to go for a hand pass. Caught by Bruns, holding the ball was the decision. And the free kick going to Hawthorn's Russell Green at centre field. Green, one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal. Certainly amongst the media representatives anyway. Up to right half forward again for Hawthorn. Loveridge, game number 50, gets it on to Matthews. He's played over 300. Robertson, loose at half forward, trucks 2 tackles, beautifully done. Long shot by Robbo, going close. Is it close enough? I think it's there. It's a great snapshot. Full points, 2 goals to Hawthorn.
And a great start to the Hawks. 2 goals within 2 minutes of the start of play. Players rushing over there to congratulate Robertson. It was a hard goal to kick because he had to brush a couple of players up. Watch Matthews look for him, does the other turn, went the other way. Robertson gets clear and nearly collected that time by Bruns, but fine goal. Well, we're back in the centre now. Robertson still rubbing that arm. He must have got one on the elbow or the top part of the arm. Tuck in the centre. Of course, he's been out for 6 weeks with a displaced retina. Don't know whether they're taking a chance. Bruns gets a high kick back towards centre half forward. Mew couldn't hold that mark. This will be a ball up for sure. Round about the centre half forward position for Geelong, about 60 metres out from their goal. Right on the edge of the square. Hawthorn off to a great start. 2 goals and the Cats yet to score. Knocked out by Mossop. Back to Bruns. They collar him pretty quickly. Down goes DP at a minute ago and the umpire will ball it up again. Well, the Cats over the last 3 starts have beaten Hawthorn twice, but that's nothing because this is a pretty tough combination, Hawthorn. Knocked out by Mossop to Bruns. A hurried kick back there towards the forward pocket position. Coming out to meet it now is Jacko and Ayres. Jacko gets the front posse. He picks it up, a snap at goal. It's going mighty close, but it won't reach the distance. But the umpire said it's out of bounds. Now, I think Jacko might have taken that over the line. Watch it again. Yes, he's over the line when he kicked that. So it'll be a throw in about 40 metres around from the Geelong goal. Moore and Jackson having a bustle there. It's not Mew, I should say. Mew comes out, but it's Bruns that gets it. Morgan fumbled the ball. Ayres goes in. He's grabbed that time by Cole. But the umpire said it'll be a throw in. This time it's only about 20 metres around from the Geelong goal. Just on the 4-minute mark, Hawthorn 2 goals to Geelong yet to score. Grabbed by Jacko. Gets a hurried kick. Coming in to meet it now is Lester Smith. It's a bad kick. Picked up by Morgan. A snap at goal, but is it good enough? No, it's through for 1 point. So that's the Cats' first score. Just on the 4.5-minute mark there, 1 point to Hawthorn. 2 goals, 12 points.
So Kelvin Moore to bring the ball back into play. Game number 301 for the veteran Hawk. He brings it to the member stand side. Ball fisted clear. Gary Ayres trying to gain position, back after suspension. Ball over the boundary line, once again a boundary throw-in, says umpire Kevin Smith, still in Geelong's right forward pocket. Man we can keep an eye on today, doing up his shoelaces there, or bootlaces. Gary Ablett, number 5, would have been one of the favourites for the Brownlow, but of course he's been suspended twice this year. Tuck getting his first position, back after that eye injury that Lou mentioned a few moments ago, back towards Langford, couldn't take the mark. Morris goes for a hand pass back to Langford, caught one, but he still keeps going. Now he falls over. It's pretty slippery there. Judge, gathers it in beautifully. Up the left half forward, trying to find Brereton. Couldn't do so. It's out of bounds, and we'll see a boundary throw in between left half forward and left centre wing for Hawthorn.
It was a beautiful pick-up by Judge, Peter.
Yes, he was on the move and controlled it well. Mossop to do the ruck work for Geelong. McCarthy for Hawthorn. Umpire calls play on. Langford in there again for Hawthorn, bustling the ball forward. Down goes Tuck. No one getting a clear go at it. And umpire Cameron this time decides on a bounce. Delightful day here at Melbourne. Probably the best day we've had for football for about 2 or 3 months at least. Doesn't say much for our weather, but you can't say too much about it anyway. Green. Short pass in towards centre field. Lester Smith can't take the mark. Loveridge, game number 50, onto Curran. Curran's gone wide out towards right half forward, trying to find Matthews. It's too long for him. The bounce. Will it favour him? Yes. No. He's almost collared. And in fact, the ball dribbling over the boundary line. It's taken over there by Flanagan, and we'll see a boundary throw in right forward pocket for Hawthorn.
Hawthorn 2 goals, 12 points, to Geelong 1 point only. Just over the 6-minute mark of this first quarter, about 35,000 here today at VFL Park, and the ground looks a picture. Matthews Juggles that, finally cleared away by Bruns. There's a chance now for Lester Smith to take the mark. He does. And he's got it out there at half forward, about 45 metres out from goal. Right on the boundary line. But the Hawks looking a lot stronger at this particular stage of the match. They've been the aggressors. Running on this kick. There it is on its way. Not a bad sort of a kick either. I think it's a goal. It is a goal. What a beautiful goal by Lester Smith. Oh, 3 goals, 18 points. Hawthorn at Geelong, 1 point only.
Lester Smith last week, Luke, played probably his best game for Hawthorn, but it was in defence.
That's right. I think he's still on the half-back line today. Yes. He's come right down to pick that one up, Pete. They've got him half forward, have they, or half-back?
Flank.
Well, he's got that on the boundary line, and of course he's got a bit of talent, this bloke, and as Pete mentioned, showed it last week. Centre bounce again. Hawthorn off to a great start. Knocked out by Byrne. Played a great game last week. Boss tries to get clear, but he's well collared. Umpire Smith said he had no hope of getting rid of that, and that'll be a ball up down towards the Hawthorn half-forward line. And they're looking at a pretty strong combination at this particular stage of the match. Here we go. Mossop against Byrne. Byrne got it down again. Boss gets a short kick. Kicked off the ground by Cole. There's Lester Smith again. He lost that one. He's tackled. The umpire said, hold the man. Could have been a bit lucky. So he takes the free kick at centre field. Hawthorn ready to go into attack again. There's a lead coming out now from Loveridge. Backing up there is Curran. He'll try and get it back to Loveridge. He dives in, Loveridge, and the umpire said it'll be a free kick to the little fellow. And he takes that one for on the shoulder. So Loveridge would be about 50 metres out from goal. And another chance for the Hawks to start, or to score. There she is on its way. Oh, there's a snap at goal by Curran. I think he might be successful again. Another goal. Oh, are they hot? 4 goals, 24 points. Hawthorn at Geelong, 1 point only.
But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia. I still call Australia. I still call Australia home. From national.
Announcing the new Holden Astra.
Giving up city bars and burn wheels at lights. I'm glad I'm civilized now. I'm glad I'm civilized now. Giving up platform shoes and Marxist Leninist blues. I'm glad I'm civilized now.
I think I'll enjoy more Australian views.
I'm glad I'm civilized now.
New Holden Astra, the civilized hatch.
In tomorrow's Sunday Press, Gary Hughes reports from London on Britain's rowdiest film star, Oliver Reed. The veteran hellraiser has just completed 6 months off the booze for a bet. But when the actor decided to celebrate his success, it was vintage Reed. Sunday Press also talks to Bert Newton about the worst crisis of his showbiz career. Plus, tennis ace John Newcombe reports exclusively on the US Open title in New York. Cricket, motor racing, horse racing and football. You'll find Sunday Press packed with all these sports and more. Don't miss Sunday Press, Sunday's best paper, out tomorrow.
It's been years in the planning. It's taken real ingenuity to design the new Power Torque engine with less parts but more power. It's taken a breakthrough down under here by Victor and the CSIRO. A vortex action. That means it's not only much quieter, but it cuts and picks up grass like no other mower. The new Victor Vortex. There's no mower like it down under.
Hawthorn led by 27 points at quarter time, but Geelong really played brilliant football and did look a finals contender in the second term. Their best passages of play for the match.
Chance for Buse. Buse in the forward pocket. The hand pass is okay. Lenigan's shot at goal is there for Geelong. That's his first and a badly needed one for the Cats. So the scores on Seven's Big League. It's Hawthorn 11-3, 69. Geelong 5-7, 37.
Geelong still a long way down the drain, 32 points. And of course we watched that again. Picked up by Buse over to Lenigan, and Lenigan straightened up, just squeezed in, but it's a goal. They all count.
They've kicked 5 of the last 9 goals, so they're going goal for goal since the 15-minute mark of the first quarter. Buckenara, as I said, back on for his first game since the grand final.
Well, that's great news for Hawthorn because he's a fine player. Great to see Buckenara back on the ground. Ball comes down now to Tuck. Tuck having a bit of trouble getting clear of the pack, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to Robertson, grabbed when he didn't have the ball. Hawthorn ready to go back into attack again. A hand pass coming over there to Mew. Mew's kick is a long one over the half-forward line. Players set themselves, and there's a good mark to Reed. Let's hope that Geelong can put their game together a bit better. Hand pass from Flanagan over to Bolton, and watch this bloke go. He's got a ton of pace. Kicks the ball long, looking for Jacko up there again with Moore. He's got it! Oh, he's doing very well against Moore. He's taken 4 marks against him, and watch that again. He's too strong for Moore, outmanoeuvred him completely. And of course, Jacko's only about, let me see, no more than about 20 metres out from goal. If that, directly in front, should kick this one. And the Cats need it. Oh, has he squeezed it in? Yes, a goal. So that's 2 goals to Jacko, and Hawthorn 11-3-69 to Geelong 6-7-43. That looks a bit better, their score now, Peter.
Yes, they've kicked 6 of the last 10 goals now, Geelong, so they've outscored Hawthorn in the last 30 minutes of play.
Great play by Bolton, showed a lot of pace, got it up to Jacko, too strong for Moore, outmanoeuvred him completely, and that's a strong mark.
And Jacko, oh, here we go again.
He must be driving Calvin Moore mad. And Calvin played 301 games. He said, what have I come up against here? Centre bounce again. Let's hope Geelong can bounce back. Knocked out by Mossop. Robertson's thrown away, kicked away by Collin. Geelong go back into attack. There's a go again for a goal. As we see Bew on his own, he's only got to pick it up. Goes for a hand pass over to Morgan. Straightens up, fires, another goal. So they're really coming with the game, Geelong. Oh, they're looking a lot better now. 11-3-69. Hawthorn to Geelong 7-7-49. A difference of 20 points.
Yes, it was 42 points, the difference in the first quarter, but Geelong have lifted their game 300%. Then they're right on top of Hawthorn at the moment, even though the Hawks still in the lead.
Good play by Bewes. Could have easily got that himself, but gave it over to Morgan. And that was a fine left foot snapper goal. That's his first.
20 points the difference. Geelong right on top. They go forward again. Ablett is underneath it and marks in front of Morgan. So Hawthorn will have to steady now. Geelong answered the challenge earlier. Can Hawthorn come back? They got that run on early in the first term, but Geelong playing the better football at the moment. Hawthorn leaving it to too few. Bolton gets over the top of Robertson, but Robertson plays on, fires out the hand pass, but Bolton beats them all. Flicks it out again. Back to Curran. Curran's kick goes a mile in the air. Ablett. Wouldn't want to try that too often. As I said, would have been one of the favourites for the Brownlow medal had he not been suspended, and that's a great shame. Loose ball. Ball up. Well, the Cats doing all the attacking in the last 15 minutes of play after Hawthorn again got 2 quick goals to open this quarter, but they haven't scored one since. Moore knocked out of the road by Cleve. Tuck on the bottom of that stack up, and once again we'll see a ball up. It's probably about 15 to 20 metres out from the Geelong goal. In front, Cleve, down to Robertson. Bolton, crashed to the ground by Judge, who's been pretty quiet so far this afternoon. Umpire Cameron again deciding on the bounce. Must be about 30 players around that ball. Knocked down to Bolton. Bolton's kick into the forward pocket. There's no one there for Geelong. The only player within Kiwi is Russell Green, and it's through for 1 point to the Cats. So the difference now is 19 points. Peyton off and Burn on. Alan Jean's obviously interchanging the big ruckman to combat the dominance of Mossop. Out the Judge, and Judge takes what I think would be about his first or second mark for the day. Only 3 kicks to Judge, and he's got a 15-metre penalty. Judge from left half-back flank. It's Hawthorn up towards centre wing. He's trying to find Brereton at the back of Simpson. Brereton, no, can't mark it. Robertson tries to get clear of Bolton. They're both pretty fast, these guys. Robertson's kick up towards full forward. Card in front. Can't take it. Matthews spins out. A shot at goal is close. And he's dobbed it. Lethal lead. What a goal. 4 goals to Matthews. He doesn't leave many opportunities. 12-3, 75 to 7-8-50.
It was 25 points the difference then, but the Cats came closer and really put the pressure on Hawks in the later stages of the second term.
Matthews, Card will go the spoil. No, he can't. Oh, what a great mark.
We've got a move card off this bloke. He's kicked 4 goals already, Pete. He's too strong for him.
Yes, I think Kelvin Moore might be moved at the other end of Jacko, because those two guys are really playing well up forward for their respective sides. The strength is telling on both occasions.
That's Matthews at his best, Pete.
It is. Matthews, 30 metres out, maybe 35. It looks OK from here. It's a goal to Matthews, and that means 5 goals to Lee Matthews. We're not at half-time yet. 13-381. Great kicking to 8-8-56 at VFL Park.
I'm not quite sure. I think about a fortnight ago I read in one paper, one certain judge said that this fella's nearly had it, Matthews. I don't know, I wouldn't like to mention any names.
He writes for the Sun, does he?
No, he doesn't write for the Sun. I never mentioned. I'm a great fan of this guy.
I know you are. There was only being sarcastic.
But he is great, and that's Matthews at his best. And by golly, there's a lot of football left in him.
We're approaching the time-on period now of the second quarter. Geelong again getting the ball out of the centre. Mossop's winning well in the ruck. Hawthorn will have to combat that somehow. Schwab and Bruns. Jacko. Oh, beautiful hand pass to Terry Bright, and here's a goal. He couldn't miss it. Very quick reply. Took them only 12 seconds. And Geelong looking a good side now. 9-8-62 to 13-381.
Well, that's the value of Jacko. Not only plays to kick a goal himself, but he's a real team man. Now, we watch Jacko on action. And it's good play on the part of Bruns here, because he knocks it over to Jacko, but Jacko spots Bright going fast, and that was a brilliant bit of play on Jackson, even though Bright will get the credit for the goal. That was Jacko's goal all the way.
Jackson has 2, Bright 2 for Geelong. Matthews has 5 for Hawthorn, Lester Smith 2, and Curran 2. 26 minutes gone.
Still 19 points, Pete.
Yes, Hawthorn can't shake them off. I don't think they will either. Bolton, he's played a great game. Bolton up to half forward. Schwab, had that mark all on his own, then he lost it. Here's Bruns, he's come to life now and fired the Geelong forward line. Jacko again. Oh, Kelvin will remember the 301st.
I think Jeans has got to move Calvin Moore off him. Look at that for a mark. That's strength at its best there by Jacko, Pete.
Yes, 5 marks to Jacko and 3 goals coming up, and Geelong will be just about with them at half-time if they keep up this pace. Jacko couldn't miss it. He hasn't. 3 goals to Jacko, and what a comeback by Geelong. They were 7 goals down midway through the first quarter, and they're now only a few points behind Hawthorn, 81-68.
And Jacko being a bit modest about this one, didn't go to any antics at all. And of course he certainly got Calvin Moore well. That's strength, plus the fact he had the drop and the ball just lobbed nicely for him. Now he's doing a bit of an act. I didn't think he could last that long with just playing it cool like that. I think he must have a lot of relations up there, of fans. They love him, but don't they?
27 minutes gone, 81 plays 68 now.
Well, the Cats in there with a chance now. Buckenara goes down, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to Geelong's Ablett at round about the centre-half back position. So Geelong go back into attack. Only 13 points the difference. You wouldn't have bet on that early in the part of the game. Tapped out here now to Loveridge. Hawthorn a little bit rattled as it goes out to Buckenara. After him is grabbed here this time by Whitcomb. Really tackled him well and grabbing the ball against him. He's played a great game. Whitcomb, no doubt their best player here. Well, let's say Cole not far behind him. But there's a few coming back into the game. I'm not forgetting Jacko. Here he goes again. Got his hands, but couldn't hold the mark. They pile, and now Jacko with a hand pass. Out it goes to Bright. Straightens up. The kick is all right. It'll be marked by Ablett. So Jacko really in the thick of things at the moment for the Cats. A quick hand pass by Jacko out to Bright. A bad kick, but luck's going their way now, and a mark to Ablett.
They're going for their 8th goal in the quarter, and we're only 28 minutes into it.
This is Ablett's 7th kick for the quarter. And, of course, he was very quiet in the first part of the game. So there we see Ablett going now. Fires, it's a goal. So the difference, only, 7 points. So the Cats really with a chance. 13 goals, 381 Hawthorn at Geelong. 11 goals, 874. 7 points, and you wouldn't have given them a chance. We see the ball go up, and watch Jacko. Flies high, but recovers well to get the ball and hand pass to Bright. And once again, Jacko's instrumental in another goal.
Well, Mew was out of position there. I don't know whether they've changed Moore and Mew on Ablett and Jackson, but Mew was a long way from Ablett, and he was playing on him earlier. 29 minutes gone, only 7 points in it now. And the Cats will be in front at half-time if they keep up the momentum. Good bump by Mew. Goes for the long kick. Hawthorn rattled, to say the very least, at the moment. It's in the back. Free kick going to Simpson. Simpson's kick to half forward. The man in front has to be paid, and that's Morris. Robertson from half back goes wide, trying to find Langford. Can't take the mark. Grab, was he in possession? They're in the back, yes. No doubt about that. Langford left centre wing. Short pass up to half forward. In front is Boss. Backing up is Reid. Knocked it away from Mossop, actually. Whitcomb, Geelong's best player. He's played 2 good quarters. Simpson went down. Could have got one too high. That's how the umpire has seen it. And Simpson to take the free kick. Simpson from half back. No mark. Morris.
It's a mark, yes, to Ablett Pete. That was a great mark, actually. Threw himself in front of the pack beautifully.
Well, who do they put on Ablett if they knew off him onto Jackson? Picked up by O'Keefe. Schwab, a little bit late, but succeeds in knocking the ball over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw-in on centre wing. Well, the game has certainly come to life. It looked a one-horse race, but I think the Cats, at the moment anyway, have got Hawthorn's measure. Knocked down by Cleve. Picked up by Judge. The umpire's found a free kick, so things falling into place quite nicely. Thank you for Geelong at the moment, and the free kick going to Michael Cole. Just about one of their best players, 10 kicks.
7 points the difference. They dropped that mark. Finally, Lester Smith can't pick it up. Calvin Moore now. It's Lester Smith coming out of the pack with the ball. Kick is okay and marked here by Buckenham. Another hand pass back to Robertson. Oh, there's a dangerous run. Green's grab, but shrugs his opponent off over to Judge. Hawthorn drove the ball up there towards Matthews again. Got his hand. It was a go for Matthews. Now will go for an open goal for goal number 6. He doesn't miss. It's a goal. So that's the side to win the quarter. A handy one by Hawthorn and Matthews. It's 14-387 to Hawthorn to Geelong. 11 goals, 874.
When you're going about your business,
Would you like a beer, mate? Oh, no. Bernard. Hi, George.
the last thing you want is people who aren't.
Fellas.
It's the same when you're flying on business, which is why TAA introduced business class, with a separate, quiet zone, up to 4 inches more legroom than economy, and meals to first-class standard. On business, fly business class, exclusive to TAA.
The friendly way.
Every lane's a fast lane. Everyone's in gear. Los Angeles, I can't explain, just know I'm staying here.
It's the city of angels, a city of sun, a city of stars, and maybe she'll be one. And I'm staying for the show. LA, I'll never go. But the beer for my taste comes from another place.
Australia's great international beer is starring in the world's great cities every day.
It's a city of stars, pretty girls and fancy cars, and the energy goes on all night.
Foster's Lager, it's got the flavor that's taking it all around the world.
I got a mate. I got a mate. I got a mate. Call Mazda. Introducing the tough new Mazda E. Tough and versatile, because only the new E-Series has all these options. 4 engines, even the big 2-litre. Petrol or diesel, single or dual wheels, 3 wheelbases, rack and pinion, front discs, huge load space, plus luxury and comfort where it counts. You got a new Mazda E, you got one tough mate. Mazda.
Geelong looking a great side on the latter stages of the second quarter. Could they go on with their good work in the third term? We pick up play some 8 minutes in.
Oh, we got KO'd. I don't think, who was it, Terry Bright? Oh, Kelly, I don't know how serious that was. I tell you, he'll be very disappointed about that, Jack Edward, because it's his favourite player to think that, well, he's a big rep for Bright, and, of course, I don't know how serious that was. Ah, golly. That's bad luck.
I see Brereton limping.
I don't know if it was that serious. Do you know that? I still say this, Pete. Guys are getting reported for things that wouldn't have been free kicks 20 years ago.
Generally the case.
Well, we wait now. It's Lester Smith to take that free kick. And he's down there at half-forward, about 40 metres out. He's already kicked 2 goals. He's playing on the half-back flank. Had a sensational first quarter. And last week he was a star player too in defence. So it looks as though the hyphen is becoming a big asset to Hawthorn. There's the kick on its way. And that's goal number 3 to Lester Smith. And Hawthorn move on to 16-4, 100 to Geelong, 11-8, 74.
Well, make up your own mind on that. He certainly was decked. The umpire deemed it reportable. That will be decided whether he's guilty or not on Monday night at the tribunal. So for Geelong's sake, let's hope that that is not the case. John Howard, the Hawthorn trainer, bringing out the water bottle at the 9-minute mark of the term. 3 goals to Rod Lester Smith at the 9.25-minute mark. Back into the centre. Mossop against Payton. Mossop wins this one out. Green with the knock-on. Couldn't succeed in getting it forward. Lester Smith's kick is well smothered. Now it's picked up by Green. He's gone out wide towards centre wing. Underneath it, McCarthy and Ablett, and McCarthy takes the mark. McCarthy hooks it up towards right half forward. Simpson getting underneath the ball and takes a good mark in front of Langford and should get a 15-metre penalty. What you call a professional 15 metres. Another facet of the game, I guess, that's a very grey area at the moment. McCarthy seemingly got into the back of Cleve. The umpire says it's a free kick. It's an in-the-back decision to Hawthorn.
Of course, Pete, Geelong have made a move down. They've taken card off Matthews and put Reid on him, Pete.
Well, they had to do something, didn't they, really? Like Hawthorn had to do something about Jackson. Russell Green has the mark. Centre field. He's gone for the hand pass. It's taken by Morris at half forward. He's a good kick as a rule. That's a beauty. Right up towards the 10-metre square. Burners there. Has it knocked away. Picked up by Malcolm Reid. Reid goes defensively towards the boundary line. The Cats defending desperately at the moment. Picked up by O'Keefe. And he finds Morgan, who takes the mark in front of Morris.
The difference, 26 points. A wrestle going on between Morgan and Morris, but Morgan clear now. Goes for the long kick up there towards Cleve. He's got the mark. Outmaneuvered 2 players that time, Payton and McCarthy. The long kick up to Jacko at the back with Mew there. Taps it. He's got the mark.
No.
He's going to. No, he's not playing it. He said play on. Well, did Mew touch that before? And the crowd going mad.
He did touch it before.
Oh, is this guy the favourite with this big crowd here at the VFL Park? I doubt that. It could have been a mark. So it's out there now and a chance. Simpson with the ball for Geelong. Geelong trailing by 26 points. Each quarter they've started off slowly but gradually get up a bit of momentum and play a lot better as we see Buss drive the ball, but there's no one there on a mark to Lester Smith. Still playing a great game. The ball shot out there towards the wing position. A mark taken here by Curran. Certainly a great play and a big find for Hawthorn this year here in Brewer. 2 of the star forwards down there as we see the ball come to Matthews. Couldn't hold that one. Reid upends him right on the boundary line. The ball out of bounds. Well, Matthews certainly gave Card plenty of trouble, kicking 6 goals on him, and Geelong in this third quarter have moved Reid onto him. 16-4 to 11-8. 11.5 minutes gone of the third quarter. The final 5 position, or the 5th position at jeopardy for Geelong if they lose here today. Down goes Hughes, couldn't spin out of the pack properly, gets a hand pass back to Little Bruns. Ball drops short, picked up by Payton, picked it up like a rover that time, gone for a short pass, it'll be okay, and the mark taken there by Judge about 45 to 50 metres out from goal.
Good play by Payton. As I said, he's done well since he came on for Hawthorn. Probably hasn't won the bounces against Mossop, but his work around the ground has been very, very tidy. Judge, usually a good kick at goal. He's about 50 metres out, though. It'd need to be from there. Kick on its way. Into Langford, couldn't pick it up. Matthews has got it now. Number 7, if he's accurate, he's got it, I think. 7 goals to Barney.
Pete, is he ever the opportunist? He waited there like a panther pouncing on a bit of prey then.
17-4, 106 to 11-8, 74.
Sevens Big League is part of the 1984 Nissan VFL Premiership season.
Well, Geelong looked a really good side in the second quarter. The wheels certainly fell off in the third, though. I don't know what happened in between the 2 quarters there, but they failed to score during the third quarter. Hawthorn went right on with the job. They led by 62 points, 3-quarter time, and won by 69. Matthews got 7 goals for Hawthorn and Robertson 4. And for Geelong, their major goal kickers were Bright 3 and Jackson 3. In the stats, Hawthorn on top in all major departments except the frees and the hit-outs. Well, 2 players that the crowd had their eyes on today were the comeback players for Hawthorn. Michael Tuck and, of course, Gary Buckenara, and, of course, their fitness a key to the Hawks' chances for success in this year's Premiership flag.
Missing for almost 12 months was half-forward flanker Gary Buckenara, who'd undergone a knee reconstruction after last year's grand final. He replaced Rodney Eden, the selected side, and from the bench made his reappearance in the second quarter.
Yeah, very nervous before the game, I can tell you that, but it's been a long, hard road, and hopefully I can stay in there from now on.
When did you know you were in the side?
About 10 o'clock this morning, I thought I was a chance because Rocket was going to pull out. It was between me and Rubber O'Halloran to see who got in, so I was on tenterhooks till I got here.
Did you have any worries at all?
No, I was just very nervous, Just like playing first game again.
Also back in the Hawk lineup today was ruck rover Michael Tuck. He missed some 6 weeks after an operation through a detached retina, and how did he find his comeback game?
It was very good to be back in the side, but it was very pleasing to have a win in that, and I think the week before the finals was the best part of it, really, to get a bit of stamina back.
Do you have any trouble with the eye at all?
Actually, still got the mouth got in, but actually it's been quite good, really. I wouldn't have played unless the doctor said it was okay, so everything was okay, and then I played. It just took a little while to get a bit of confidence in it, but it was quite good, really, no trouble.
On Sevens Big League now, we check our 2 winners in the TAB phone account competition, and the first 2 viewers through were Mr. B. McClintock of Mornington and Mr. K. Atkinson of Vermont. Congratulations to you both, and their names go into the barrel for our end-of-season prize draw coming up in only a few weeks' time. Sevens Big League will take a break, back with action from Princes Park in just a moment.
Scott Palmer reports on all the news from today's final round, and Carlton have to battle it out against the Swans next on Sevens Big League.
Westpac announces the world's first national electronic banking system. A vast network of electronic terminals and bank branches that gives you the choice to do your banking where and when you want to. A system that is soon to be installed into over 1,000 service stations and supermarkets. All you need is just one card. The card is the bank, and the bank is Westpac.
Talking of tough jobs, there was this big 20-foot greenhouse, my new Mitsubishi high roof, and just me and Joe. But my Mitsubishi high roof made it a cinch.
You call that tough? I had to hurry 18 models across town to a fashion show. Luckily, my Mitsubishi low roof turns on a 10-cent piece, handles really well. All right, girls, showtime.
The new Mitsubishi Express vans. A tough act to follow. It's another Mitsubishi.
You get Monte Carlos and shortbread creams, orange slices and Delta creams, and there are melting moments and Swiss creams in all its big assorted creams.
What a big, beautiful choice.
In all its assorted creams.
In tomorrow's Sunday Press, Gary Hughes reports from London on Britain's rowdiest film star, Oliver Reed. The veteran Hellraiser has just completed 6 months off the booze for a bet. But when the actor decided to celebrate his success, it was vintage Reed. Sunday Press also talks to Bert Newton about the worst crisis of his showbiz career. Plus, tennis ace John Newcombe reports exclusively on the US Open title in New York. Cricket, motor racing, horse racing and football. You'll find Sunday Press packed with all these sports and more. Don't miss Sunday Press, Sunday's best paper, out tomorrow.
An eccentric old man is involved in a series of accidents, but all is not quite what it seems. Bergerac has a case of murder with an obvious motive. Could it be too obvious? Bergerac, following the professional, Saturday at 9:30. The Sun, 7 Sport and Nissan present Sunball. Yes, Sunball is here, and every week for the rest of the football season, you could win a magnificent Nissan Pulsar GL. All you have to do is spot the ball in a football action photo in the Sun, Monday to Friday. It's only 30 cents to enter, and all proceeds go to charity. Now, we'll take a look at this week's Sunball action. The shot that will appear in the Sun comes from this play, so watch the ball closely. Remember, a still from that play will be in the Sun, Monday to Friday this week, without the ball. Just put a cross where you think the ball is, and you could win a magnificent Nissan Pulsar. Sunball, brought to you by the Sun, 7 Sport and Nissan.
Right, it's time for our weekly visit to the offices of the Sunday Press, and we say a very good evening to their sporting editor, Scott Palmer.
Good evening, Peter. Welcome viewers back into the Sunday Press. Excuse the glow because I've been to the Fitzroy celebrations. I can't believe it. For 10 weeks we're at 10th, and now we're in the 5. It's a fairy tale. So said Fitzroy's Robbie Walls after the dramatic entry into the finals today. Fitzroy supporters were barracking for Collingwood after half-time, cheering every goal. But the Lions, however, will meet Collingwood next Sunday at the MCG without Conlon, Clayton, Hinchin and Harris. And their president, Keith Wiegard, announced before the match that it was the last time the Lions would be playing at the Junction Oval. That switch to Collingwood looks to be okay. It's great to be back in the action, said Collingwood's John Cale. Cale played 16 years as a player, served 11 as a coach, and has only missed the finals twice, and once was last with the Magpies. He believes an aggressive Collingwood can spring a surprise, and so does Footscray's Mickey Malthouse. They've got the skill and are quite physical, said Mickey. He was honest as usual. He said the Bulldogs were a bunch of battlers, and you can only battle for so long. His fullback, Rick Kennedy, ended the season with a broken arm. Geelong's Tom Hafey would give no comment on his coaching future after the Cats' loss at VFL Park. However, he said many had predicted Geelong would finish last this year. I think we surprised many. Hafey feels the loss of Greg Williams early in the season hampered his side's chances this year. Hawthorn's Alan Jean said he was pleased with the overall effort, particularly Gary Bacanava, who came on after the second half and managed 7 great kicks from a half-forward flank. Carlton captain Wayne Johnson may not be fit for the finals. Coach David Parkin said this after today's win over the Swans. He has a congenital back ailment which may prevent him playing for the rest of the year. However, the players dropped by the coaches last week, Ralph, McConville, Southby and Glasgow, all played well in the reserves and will be considered for next week's match against the Hawks. Swans coach Bob Hammond will decide within 2 weeks whether he'll continue coaching, but the word is he'll go back to the supermarket business in Adelaide. Ron Barassi said the Demons need another 5 or 6 players who want the club to do well. He said he was disgusted with the Demon effort against Richmond today. But Tiger Mike Patterson said Richmond showed good application today and started the plan for 1985. He said we need more depth. Merv Kane played his last game, and Pato's position too will be discussed within a week when the club get down to reviewing the whole situation for 1984. It was a bad finish for Donald McDonald of North Melbourne. He was reported for striking Bill Duckworth of Essendon today. But Sheedy said he was pleased with the win and for the rest. He'll take 30 players to watch Carlton play Hawthorn next Saturday and was hopeful Paul van der Haar would be fit to play the week after. North Barry Cable is uncommitted about his future. He'll sit down in a few weeks to decide at Arden Street, he said. But he feels the club will succeed with the young players they blooded in 1984. Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Scotty, and full details of those reports in the Sunday Press out tomorrow as we check the goal kickers. On top, of course, Bernie Quinlan, 5 today for 102, and we'll be speaking to Bernie a little bit later on during Seven's Big League. Well, the Sydney Swans' record against Carlton in recent times is anything but good. They've lost their last 3 games against the Blues by an average of just over 42 points, although the Swans were successful at the Sydney Cricket Ground in 1982. On Thursday night, Carlton selectors gave the side somewhat of a shake-up on the eve of the finals by axing David Glascott, Peter McConville, Spiro Korkamilis and Warren Ralph, while Ken Sheldon was selected for his first senior game of an injury-interrupted season. The Swans were certainly buoyed by their shock thrashing of league leaders Essendon last week, but the Blues on the rebound and at home looked a pretty tough proposition. At Princes Park, our commentators are Peter McKenna and Jack Edwards, and we pick up play at the start of the final quarter.
13-17-95, the Swans 13-9-87.
Malin got the ball down to Hunter. Hunter a great first quarter against Carter, but since then Carter's got on top. There's a hand pass. Browning's had his usual tremendous quota of kicks up towards centre wing, and the ball's taken over the line by English. A very good third quarter was played here at Princes Park, where at one stage the Swans looked like running away from Carlton. Carlton fought back when their little men started to get back into the game, and then of course at three-quarter time we saw them with a lead of 8 points. And now it's up to the Swans kicking into the breeze to see if they can fight back. Murphy has a flying kick up towards the forward line, straight over the line and out of bounds on the full. But a big task here for the Swans, Jack. I think you'll agree, because certainly their wind is favouring the end that Carlton is kicking to.
Yes, but Carlton in the second quarter only kicked 3 goals 10, which made their task that much harder. Billy Pickens' kick, not a good one, went straight to Blackwell, and Blackwell gives it out to Montgomery, who puts it in toward the half-forward zone looking for Big Madden. Madden can't take the mark, but Ashman's there. Ashman goes toward goal. The umpire said it is all clear. Ashman kicks his second and Carlton go to a 14-point lead over the Swans.
Yes, and that's going to make it a lot harder now for the Swans. As I said, the breeze favouring the end. The Carlton is kicking too, and Carlton, halfway through that third quarter, really started to lift their game and started looking like the Carlton side that we expect when, as I said, those little men started to come into it. But I'm still not convinced, Jack, about their forward setup with Madden down at full forward and Hunter playing up around near McClure. I reckon that they certainly need a recognised full forward in that side.
Barry Round got the tap from the centre bounce, taken away by Montgomery. The kick wasn't a good one. It's come into the open spaces of the members of the members wing. Meldrum got a good break there, broke away nicely too. Good piece of football. Gives it to Murphy. There's no one in the goal square. Murphy's going to have a shot at goal. He puts it on its way. The kick drops short. Hunter's up. Spoiled. The ball on the turf. Murphy missed it on the way through. There was a free kick the Swans' way there. The player in question was being held was Dennis Carroll, and he will take the free kick. Sorry, it was Brett Scott.
Brett Scott.
Being held by the arm.
He was being held by the arm. It was a good decision by the umpire there. And the umpire in question there was Jeff Morrow. At centre half back, Brett Scott on that left foot of his as he kicks it looking for Round. Round was shoved out of the way by Jones. Marked by Blackwell. He plays on. He's played a good game today. Blackwell up towards full forward. Carter almost took the mark. Good play, Rod Carter. Gives away the hand pass to Brett Scott. Scott out wide towards his teammate Ian Roberts. Roberts runs away from the half-back line up towards centre wing area it goes. This is Craig Potter, their young recruit. Back it comes to Ian Roberts. That was good football by Roberts. Left foot up towards... lovely mark on half-forward flank. And that looked like, was it Tony Moore or Wayne Carroll?
Wayne Carroll, I thought.
Wayne Carroll took a couple of screamers. Plays on. Gives it across towards his teammate there. Is that young Potter having a shot for goal? That could be a goal. Touched, said the goal umpire right on the line. And the player in question... Yes, it was young Craig Potter who had that shot for goal.
Capper didn't agree with that decision. He thought the player was behind the line when he touched it. And went and had a few words to say to the goal umpire, but only one behind has been registered, which brings the Swans to 88, Carlton on 101, and from Montgomery the ball's delivered down to Meldrum. Can't take the mark. McClure picks up, looks for Madden. Got a good kick, comes away towards Sheldon. Has a chance to pick up now to give it to Blackwell. Wasn't a good hand pass. Blackwell's free kick, holding the man. He wasn't in possession when tackled, and he will take the free kick on the half-forward flank position. Blackwell looking for a chance to play on, gives it to Sheldon. Sheldon puts a good kick into the square. Over the heads of... No, Carter got back. I thought it might have beaten the pack, but the umpire said a free kick going to Carter of the Swans.
Yes, rightly so, too. He was held there by Kenny Hunter. That's been a terrific battle between those two. Blackwell, he's playing well, Wayne Blackwell, especially since half-time as he gets it across to Ashman. A touch of the fumbles, Rod Ashman, onto the left foot down towards the forward pocket where Ackley, the ever-reliable Ackley, has played his usual solid game. Up towards Potter, Dool over the back, and listen to the roars of the Carlton supporters. They love Bruce Dool, and rightly so, because he's still a champion even at the age of 32.
ID Carlton fans will be happy to see this fella coming back into form. Kenny Sheldon puts it up high toward big Madden. Madden's a chance. Madden takes the mark. Just too tall. Madden has kicked 2 goals. He's now only 25 metres out, going for his 3rd goal. He was just too tall on that occasion for Anthony Danaher, and he should kick this goal, as I said, only 25 metres out. So big Justin Madden. Chance to consolidate the game in one sense for Carlton, even though we've only been playing just over 5 minutes of the final term. Carlton seem to have been, in the last quarter and a bit, coming right back to their best. Carlton through Madden, going forward. It's another goal. So Madden pops that one through for his 3rd goal, and the Carlton score changes now. 15 goals, 17, 107. The Swans on 13, 10, 88, and you're on 7's big lead.
After a hard day's work, nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft. And he'll tell you he likes the kind of life he leads, and he's glad that he was born. And he likes the taste of real draft beer when his time's his own. If you want the taste of real draft beer, only Carlton Draft comes anywhere near. There's nothing beats a long, cold Carlton Draft.
It's on.
the great Nissan Bluebird $1,000 gift. It's big, and people are racing in as Nissan gives you $1,000 on every Bluebird sedan, $750 on every Bluebird wagon. As a gift, you'll save. So join the rush to Bluebird. Get up to $1,000 rebate and save as Nissan dealers put up their best ever Bluebird deal. It's a gift, the great Nissan Bluebird $1,000 gift. There's never been a better time to...
As Australia began to grow, so did the demand for Violet's delicious Violet Crumble. That true crumbling honeycomb in a delicious chocolatey coating. There was so much demand that...
What?
Gold?
The craving for Violet Crumble led many early settlers astray. Sometimes it just has to be Violet Crumble.
Sunday, 7:30, bless this house. The kids decide to leave home, but don't go far enough away for Sid. At 8 o'clock, Kingswood Country. Be there with Ted at the Kingswood Owners Club Ball. Sunday from 7:30, top comedy from 7.
In the final quarter, we're 8 minutes into the term.
In Sydney, but at this stage of the game, Carlton have them bottled up on that half-forward flank, forward pocket position. Didn't take Rhys Jones on to get into the action. He just came off the bench. He's back in the action already. Umpire Jeff Morrow, surrounded by about 20 players. It's going to be hard to get the ball out of there. Big Thumb should put it toward the Swans' goal if anyone can get it. Carroll got up and tried just that, but Dool was equal to the task.
Beautifully read Bruce Dool. He was looking down there for Hunter and Malin. Over the back is Browning. He's played well today, Mark Browning. He's looking for Pickham with a long hand pass. Fraser Murphy, though, too quick. Slips over. A hand pass to McClure. McClure ducks around. Smith tries to run him down. The short pass to Ashman. Ashman, oh, beautifully done, Rodney Ashman. Straightens up and fires at the goal. Tremendous skills by Rod Ashman for his third goal. And Carlton is streaming away. They've moved on to 16 goals, 17. 113 to the Swans, 13 goals, 1290.
Well, it's been an interesting game, or it was up until three-quarter time. Carlton and the Swans kicked the same score in the first quarter, 4-4 each. And then in the second term, Carlton kicked 3 goals, 10 to the Swans, 5 goals, 2. The Swans still led by 4 points at half-time. Carlton by 8 points at three-quarter time, and now the Blues are taking a grip on the game.
Big wow, Jones. We saw Mick Kennedy, the young player, has come on the ground. Blackwell, a beautiful hand pass to Ashman. Ashman onto the left foot, looks for Madden, up he goes. No marks at the umpire, rightly so too, as we see players crashing in after the football. Mick Kennedy, number 55, goes in after it, and the young player for Carlton has come on in place of Malin.
Ball being put down now, only 25 metres away from Carlton's goal. Carlton leading by 23 points over the Swans at the 10-minute mark of the final term. Nearly forced through for a score. A chance for Ashman. He's after the ball, will try and swing it back. No, he went for Hunter. Hunter can't take it cleanly, but he gets around to his left foot. Very hard shot from there. It virtually goes backwards now, thumped over the boundary line by Barry Round. We'll see a throw-in taking place in the forward pocket for Carlton on the members' side of the ground. 16-17, 1-1-3 to 13-12-90 is the story on the scoreboard. Carlton leading.
20,000 people here, 20,319 people. Most of them would be Carlton supporters. There's McClure on the left foot, up towards half forward. No mark. Carter gets caught. Held when he didn't have the football. Madden tries to get in a hurry kick, goes about 2 metres. Players dive on top of the ball on the half forward line for Carlton. And the umpire, this time it's umpire Morrow, has no hesitation in bouncing the balls. 3 goals, 5 the difference in favour of the Blues. We've been playing 11 minutes into this final quarter.
Up at the Swans forward line, there's only one forward over the centre line, and that's Warwick Kappa. Now Madden went for the tap. Chance for McClure, tried to break through, has a shot toward goal, but he's off target. It may have gone out on the full. The umpire said it bounced just inside the playing area. So a boundary throw-in taking place, no free kick to the Swans players. Scoreboard 16-17, 1-1-3 to 13-12-90. Carlton leading, and Carlton in attack only 20 metres from goal.
Justin Madden punched away, grabbed by Sheldon. The punch away came there from Carter, and the ball is forced over the line by Anthony Danaher and out of bounds.
big pack, Peter, around that ball when it comes in.
I'll say the edge has gone off the game at the moment, Jack. The Swans have got a very difficult task. Carlton have improved their game. Billy Picken, he and McClure have had a terrific duel all day at that centre half back position for the Swans. Rhys Jones is throwing himself into the pack. Umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to Wayne Carroll on half back flank, and a 15-metre penalty given against the Blues there. Carroll has got the loose man in Browning. Gee, they like to feed it out to him, and no wonder, because he kicks the ball a mile. There's another 60-metre kick right over the back of the pack. Bernie Evans grabs it, half-forward flank, hooks it back towards Kappa and Dean, but the ball was a poorly directed kick over the line, out of bounds on the full.
Dean putting the ball down toward Meldrum on the outer half-back flank position. Did it well too. Good player, this kid. Meldrum picks up from the wing position, will put Carlton into attack on the half-forward zone. Going in to try and take the mark was Ackley. He couldn't take the mark, but he recovered very well. Picks up now and drives up toward Barry Round. Ball at the back of the pack. Ian Roberts can't take it. Carlton can come forward now through Ashman. He spears it down to Fraser Murphy. He can't take the mark. It's could have been a mix-up. Jones suffers off the ground, and he's got his fourth goal. Wasn't it Jones? It was Ben Madden. I thought it was Jones, but not a nice piece of work. Nice piece of work, Pete.
Well, the scoreboard takes Carlton further in front. 17-17, 119 to the Swans, 13 goals, 12-90. And Greg Smith had a touch of the fumbles there, and big Justin Madden lashed out with the left boot and socked that one through for a goal. And Madden down at the full forward position. As I said earlier, I haven't liked their forward set-up, but Madden's kicked 4 goals, and Murphy's kicked 3, Ashman's kicked 3, and Warren Jones, with 2 screaming marks in the third quarter, kicked 2 great goals. He also kicked a goal in the third quarter from a free kick.
There he is now, Warren Jones tapping the ball down, but taken by Browning. There was a chance there for Scott to get a kick, but he hand passed out. The Swans attack falling apart now as he takes the mark. Hand passes down to Montgomery. The kick not a good one. It was meant for Blackwell or Sheldon, but the kick was off the side of the boot and going over the boundary line on the full. Dennis Carroll will take the free kick on the centre wing position. But as I said, the Swans' attack has fallen apart. Barry Round up high. Yes, a mark. Not paid. Play on was a call. He had it, lost it on the way down.
His teammate Wayne Carroll took it off him.
Yes, he did have it in his hands, but he lost possession pretty quickly.
Half-forward flank for the Swans. As I said, Carlton well on top at the moment, and a good effort by Carlton, because they've come from playing very, very poor football to playing quite good football. As soon as the little men started to come into the game, that changed the whole complexion of the game, as we see Rodney Ashman again getting a kick down towards centre wing. Murphy's there, taken away by Sheldon. He's come right into it. Ackley smothers the ball, but this allows Meldrum to come in and pick it up. A handball to Fraser Murphy. Can he kick his 4th as he flies in towards goal? The wind swings it back. 4 goals to Fraser Murphy. And the Blues stream further in front. They move on to 18 goals, 17. 125 to the Swans, 13 goals, 12-90.
And after there was only 8 points in it at three-quarter time, Carlton came away to win by 36 points. For Carlton, Madden, Ashford and Murphy all got 4 goals, and for the Swans, Kappa was their major contributor, and he finished up with 6 in the stats. Carlton on top in kicks, hit-outs and shots at goal, and the Swans, they had more marks, frees and handballs. Let's check the results of the other matches played today in round 22. Battle of the Co-Tenants at the MCG saw Richmond victorious by 28 points. Wakeman, Rawlings, Poole and Pickering all got 3 goals. Fidge got 5 for Melbourne. Essendon at North Melbourne, the Bombers confirmed their position at the top of the ladder. They'll have the rest next week. They won by 38 points. Danaher, Williams, Harvey all got 4. And for North Melbourne, Cracker and Fairley also got 4 goals. At the Junction Oval this afternoon, Fitzroy moved into the 5. They defeated St Kilda by 57 points. Bernie Quinlan got 5. Osborne got 5 for the Roys. Lockett got 4 for St Kilda. And our reporter at the Junction Oval today, Stephen Phillips.
Bernie, last year was a mad attack of the nerves when your 100 came up. This year, used to it?
I wouldn't say I was used to it, Steve. I went through it about 100 times during the week in my mind, but when it came to the shot for goal for the 100th, I felt fairly confident.
Were you glad it was all over early so you could get your mind at ease and get the team's mind at ease, just go about beating St Kilda?
Yeah, I was very pleased. I was hoping that it would be about the 15 minutes of the first quarter, and it turned out it wasn't much after that.
Well, you had to survive that rush of fans and then being cheered off the ground afterwards. It's a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, Steve. I can put up with it.
Yes, and while all the pressure was on Bernie Quinlan to bring up the 100 goals, it was a great performance by Richard Osborne, who kicked 5 goals, and plenty of pressure on you and the rest of the Fitzroy forward line to cap off this dream today.
Yeah, there was. At one stage there, St Kilda in that second quarter, they fought back and did well, but our backmen played so close all day. And Bernie, what can you say? On behalf of all the players, I'd like to congratulate him, by the way. He's fantastic.
What was the feeling like in the rooms before the game? Did Robert tell you to block out thoughts of the other games?
Yeah, that's the main thing he emphasised. We're a bit toey. We're a bit nervous, I think, and which is good. It's good to go into a game a bit toey and that.
When did you know you were into the finals?
Well, the runner came out to me and he said, one of the trainers, and said Collingwood have got it, so I knew then.
Great feeling?
Oh, fantastic.
Was it funny listening to the crowd screaming and yelling when nothing was happening?
Yeah, well, it would have had to have been Collingwood goals, but I couldn't work it out. It was just general play around the ground and the crowd was screaming.
We check the footy bet dividends now from today's round, and first up, the footy bet results. Hawthorn $9.65, Carlton $5.05, Collingwood $11.90, Essendon $4.75, Fitzroy $3.35 and Richmond $7.25. In the footy double, it was Hawthorn and Collingwood 10 at 8, $138.10, and the footy quad today was Hawthorn, Carlton, Collingwood and Essendon 4, 333, $118.15. We'll take a break. Back with the league ladder in just a moment.
Still to come on 7's Big League, the highlights of an action-packed final round.
You can get it riding, you can get it sliding, you can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter. You can get it walking, you can get it talking, you can get it working a plough. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
We've seen a whole lot of champions in Australia.
When you're the champions in colour TV, naturally you keep the same high standards in video recorders, just like Rank Arena and NEC have done, with the NEC technology that's made Rank Arena our favourite colour TV. Features like stereo playback and a digital tape scanner to keep the tape aligned for a cleaner, crisper picture. Rank Arena and NEC.
We're gonna be a favourite video too.
When Bob Ansett talks about competition, people listen.
And if you want to win, you've got to love to compete. You've got to thrive on the challenge.
For Bob Ansett and Budget, every day means a new challenge, because they know they're only as good as their next customer. That's why their rates and service have to be better than the competition.
In real terms, car rental is cheaper today than it was 10 years ago. Why? Because we love competing. That's the spirit of Budget.
All 3 of these animals were introduced to the Australian outback at about the same time. Each adapted very easily, and certainly all were used to profit man. Yet now, none have any real enemies but man.
Hoofs, humps and feathers, 7:30 Monday on 7.
And this is how the league ladder finished after the home and away rounds, and Essendon will take out the $5,000 with the compliments of Arnott's for topping the list at the end of the home and away matches with 72 points, and they get the rest next week. Hawthorn, Carlton, Collingwood and Fitzroy making up the 5, and the Saints...
At VFL Park. First up, here's Hawthorn's Ken Judge.
And it looks good, it is a goal! What a goal!
Now his teammate, considered by many best on ground, Michael Byrne.
Couldn't get clear. Once again, it's Byrne. Getting around those players like a little player. Long shot for goal. It's not a bad kick. It's a goal!
To the Blues, Fraser Murphy. Reads it beautifully.
And he's put it through the little rover.
He's in front.
The Blues half-forward, Mark McClure.
His shot is there. Sevels has kicked it, I think. Yes, he has.
Hawthorn, so the ball is
Carlton's Warren Ralph. 8 goals yesterday, a superb performance. Here's one of them.
Let's see what he can do with this one. Oh, it's not a bad sort of a kick either. There's goal number 8. They're looking out.
The man they couldn't stop, Robert DiPier Domenico.
DiPier Domenico, and Dill fight it out. It's DiPier Domenico. Beautiful play on the boundary line as he kicks the ball long. What's this one? Oh, my goodness. Was that a goal? Yes, it is a goal. Unbelievable. Up there for Matthews.
And completing them, Lee Matthews of Hawthorn.
Past 2 of them, they both fall over. This gives him a chance to score a goal, and he does. Oh, look at the chance.
And great goals there to our panel now for their assessment, headed by Peter McKenna. Pete?
Well, Bobby, some tremendous finals, typical finals goals, really.
As I thought Warren Ralph's goal, he really lined the ball up. When he got clear, he straightened up and from the angle, but Matthews, the way he dived on the ball and saw the two Carlton players just keep going where they thought he was going to put it, and it looked an easy goal in the finish, but the way he won it. But the way Di Domenico lifted it, that goal and one when he came through the centre and hand passed on, they were team-lifting efforts, and I'd give it to Di Domenico for his team lifting.
What about you, Sam?
Well, I couldn't agree with Bob more. I honestly thought Ralph's was better executed kick because it was deliberate, but for sheer just lifting, the ability to lift a side through inspiration and kicking that goal, you wouldn't go past Di Domenico. But I just did think Burns and Fraser Murphy's couple of goals were good, and also McClure's. It was a nice snap. But Ralph would just get edged out for mine by Di Domenico.
Yes, well, you're both good judges because Robert Di Domenico wins the $100 Midas goal of the day, a tremendous team-inspiring goal. And, of course, that goes in for the Goal of the Year competition, a $5,000 award judged by the World of Sport panel at the end of the year. Now, have a look at Bertie Di Domenico. He knocks it on, away from Bruce Dool, around the boundary line, gets the bounce of the ball, ducks back, then onto the right foot, right on the boundary line.
And let's look at mark in action here now. Eyes on the ball, as the two experts here explained. Got the one hand.
Before a knee injury cut him down in round 13, the youngster...